Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Omega Files. I'm your host, Dr. Freedom, and tonight we've gathered about to talk about this incredible new superhero team. No, they're not the Guardians of the Galaxy. No, they're not the Avengers. No, they aren't the Justice League. We're talking about the most badass team because they got Luke Cage, the Defenders. 8-part miniseries put out this year by Netflix. Very, very good story, very well paced. And I just can't complain about it at all. But they went along the same lines where they introed all these different characters. Jessica Jones, Daredevil, and of course, Iron Fist and Luke Cage. And then they decided, okay, let's slam bang all these people together and do this, little anthology where they're all put together as a team, because of circumstances. And it really wowed me. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it, though. So when I go around, call your name, just go ahead and go right into your opening thoughts on the Defenders. So let's start with AJ this time. Go on ahead.
Wow, first up. This show, absolutely brilliant, blew me away. DC, take note for your movies. This is how stuff works, all right? Cannot say anything more great about this show other than the villains were villainy, your heroes were your quintessential heroes. They had problems. They were just like you and me. They've got their mental problems. They've got their hang-ups and all that sort of stuff. So they're more relatable to. Batman has got his parents who died and all that sort of stuff. But these people are truly damaged on the inside, trying to make the world a better place by just lashing out at the evil, which is what they do best. I'll get into more about the show later on, what I liked and all that, but top notch this was.
Alrighty then. Let's move on over to Graham.
Yeah, guys. Another winner for Netflix and their Marvel shows. I agree with AJ there. Your 4 leads were absolutely phenomenal throughout this. I loved how they basically picked up where they left off for all the respective shows. And everybody within those respective shows either got a cameo or was represented within this wee anthology. Good stuff there. We had Sigourney Weaver as primarily your principal villain up to a certain point. She was phenomenal in that role as Alexandra, the head of the hand. As for favourite parts and a few nitpicks, we'll get to that as we discuss later. I have a couple of them. But all in all, this gets my seal of approval, and I'm off for a beer. Thank you.
Okay, Susan and Alex.
Hi. Well, I guess I'm really enjoying this team and these actors and stuff. I really liked. Let's see, what's it called? I like Finn Jones as Danny Rand. I really like Scott Glenn as Stick. Oh my gosh. I got a question though. Is Stick the Stick in the other shows? So that's my question. I'll send that out there. And then let's see. I liked Sigourney Weaver, and I liked the guy who played Bakuto. He was great, and Rosario Dawson is awesome, and everything that she ever did, she's amazing. And Simone, anyway, she plays Misty. Wow, cool. Cuts off her hand and stuff, and or gets her arm cut off, and Stick gets cuts off his hand, and I mean they go without parts, but the superheroes, help them along. So that's my opening bit.
May include spoilers. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to see this again. I'm not really impressed so far, but I admit that Susan's probably saw the whole series where I heard some of it. And then Sigourney Weaver seemed to be having a Obi-Wan Kenobi type of vibe there. I do like the fact that she does seem relaxed. I like, what is it? I like the Iron Fist. I like Luke Cage. The other shows I didn't like as much. Daredevil's okay. It is funny how a lot of them seem to be British actors as well, and they're doing a very good American accent or dialect. But yeah, so far I'm not finding the show that interesting. I'll keep watching, but I prefer Luke Cage and even Iron Fist more, and that dragged when it first came out. But yeah, except for Sigourney Weaver, Luke Cage, Rosario Dawson is always good in everything she's in.
I agree.
But yeah, as far as the story, no, I'm not finding it. Hopefully, it picks up in episode 4 or 5 because I'm not finding it so interesting right now.
It will. It will. Just trust me.
Okay, VFed.
Yeah, there's a lot of losing fingers and losing hands in this one, or fingers of the hand, shall we say. Yeah, it's, for the most part, it bounds along and rolls along quite well. It's very good in how it actually puts and gets all the characters all together, I would say, certainly at the point where they all sort of meet and everything like that. It does that really well. And your female supporting cast in Colleen Wing, in Misty Knight, and in Claire, they are really, really good. They really lift this up. Danny Rand is still at points a little bit of a moany little kid at points in this, but I do like one of the things I did think was done well was where they sort of have an inkling of the start of the friendship between him and Luke starting to be forged. He, by and far for me, is the standout character out of the group. You know that I loved the series when it came out. He is the sort of emotional and moral heart of the group. Jessica's great. I'm not sure about the ending though. The ending seemed a little bit to drop off a bit with how things got resolved with Elektra in the hand, and we might get onto that. I found it a little bit confused, a little bit rushed, and fell apart just at that final little bit, the last episode. Aside from that, yeah, Sigourney Weaver was brilliant as sort of a very stoic villain who sort of seem to have knowledge beyond themselves and everything like that. What it is I think what is the difficult part about this, why perhaps it's a harder sell than say Daredevil or something like that, is that there's a mystic element to it. So it's always a harder sell than sort of like, someone's got superpowers, boom, that's it. So you have to sort of have a suspension of disbelief to it, and you have a bit more lore background to get past, but it didn't get too bogged down in that. Overall, really good, but there are a couple of nitpicks to it, like G says.
Alrighty. Okay. Let's head on over to William.
Hey, now, how you doing, everybody? We were always anticipating this because we knew for the first shows of season of every show that each one had 13, and this miniseries was going to have 8, which would have added up to 60. That was the contract agreement. So that's what we knew was 8. So watching this as an 8-parter continuously, you can see it as a flowing story, do the whole thing. Just like some of the other shows we watched, like Ash vs. Evil Dead, it flows straight. So this is not you could say this is a story maybe over a week long like that, because you could tell when Jessica was complaining that she's still wearing her same clothing and she hasn't taken a bath. So that you could tell how time is flying right there. It's not a bad series by itself, but it has some flaws. Because me being a follower of the comic book like that, I wish they would have contained certain stuff that was part of the comic lore. Like for instance, the hand is not part of Kunlun. The hand is from Japan. Kunlun's in China, up there somewhere like that. So there's different areas. So I could understand if the supposedly the 5 members of the hand, which finger each one belongs to, I don't know. Started at Japan and created the hand, and that ninja group like that, but they didn't really get into that origin like that. So I don't know whether the hand or any of that stuff will come back following after this. We have to wait and find that out. Daredevil started out real great, and we all saw that he still had feelings for Elektra because of the way, you know, he feels that it was his fault that she died like that. So that really stood out like that. So what happened at the ending of the story was, you know, we was anticipating that. And then of course, what happened at the end, we saw what happened with him. You know, we understood that. You know, he wasn't going to die or nothing like that. Iron Fist, he has some good parts, but he has some bad parts too. He had like what we call growing pains to deal with. Luckily, at the end of the season, it looked like I will get into why he might happen with his other seasons, or that he might grow and hopefully take the advice of Matt Murdock. Cage was great in this story. I mean, he came back out of jail, then he had to deal with that what happened in the last season. That he came out and he went straight to Harlem, and then he dealt with the hand, and of course he had his coffee with Claire, so that was good for him. Jessica was great. She was a smart woman with a smart mouth, and she stood out real great here. So I would look very forward to seeing the second season of her. Because we heard the rumor called that David Tennant is returning, whether he's back as a physical person or a mental. We wait till that show returns to deal with that. I'm a little bit upset that maybe one episode, maybe Frank Castle would have made a cameo, because of course he appeared in the Daredevil at that, and he did help in a way. So I thought maybe he would come maybe in one episode. You know, maybe Daredevil's ex-secretary would have called him like that. So no, I'm not upset about it. But luckily in the fall, his own series is coming soon. Yes.
I just put you up on that. I think the reason they maybe left him out of that is because essentially you're going to get Karen in his full season run.
Yeah, I know.
So that's going to basically...
That's why I mentioned it would be nice for her to call him.
Yeah, you know, so you'll probably get her story while he still disappeared before we get to Daredevil season 3. So...
seeing Sigourney Weaver as one of the five fingers of the hand was great to see. She's a great actress. We all seen her for many years. But in certain spots, I'm a little bit disappointed that she was a wasted character, because it was a little bit not great to see that the hand was the main villain to deal with these 4 heroes, because they could have come up with other things like that to deal with it. Because if you notice that you hardly saw that many members of the hand. I'm not talking about the five fingers. I'm talking about their army like that. You hardly seen that many of them. Most of them was wearing business suits. Now, what happened to the rest of the Ninja Clan that they have like that? So we didn't see that. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad show. I think it was a great show, but it just could have, it could have, like, maybe somebody would have sat down in the room like that and just tick off some spots like that could have corrected like that. It would have been one of the best things I saw this whole year. So I'm not saying it's bad, but I want to nitpick some more on certain things when we get into it.
Alrighty. Okay, Lady Neo.
Okay, Defenders. Did I like it? Yes, I loved it. I love Defenders. It's really, really good. There are some nitpicks, including the ending, which was sappy. I will give you this. It's sappy. It ain't. Sorry, William. That part with Elektra and Daredevil. Give me a break. Anyways, who stood out for me was, of course, Sigourney Weaver. She was straight up vicious. Loved her. Elektra was good too. Jessica Jones, well, she's good. She's beautiful. Luke Cage, awesome. Love him. Want more of him. Okay, now I gotta talk about the 2. Okay, I'm gonna be nice. Now, Matt Murdock was okay. Yeah, he was okay. I don't like Matt Murdock that much, and I didn't like him in the Daredevil series either. His character is nice and everything, but he does need to be a team player. Now, on to the boy who needs to grow up a bit more, Danny Rand. I don't hate Danny Rand, the actor. I just hate how he was portrayed. He looked like he was constipated all the time, like he needed to go to the bathroom. So, and at the end, when he finally smiled, I said, oh, he grew up a little bit. But his character as a whole, learning curve, I love when he was with Luke Cage, though. When he was with Luke Cage, it was like gold. It was beautiful. They were talking, they were like walking, whatever. It was great. But other than that, good. The plot was good. most of the cliffhangers for each episode was good, except the end. So, and we'll nitpick later.
Alrighty. Yeah. But yeah, very interesting anthology, the way they put it together, the way they brought them together. And, we also get to learn a little bit more about what's going on. We learned a bit more about, their version of history for the hand. Apparently they came from the, Tibetan Brigadoon, Kunlun or whatever it's called, or how they are pronounced. I always get it wrong. And of course, the big goal is immortality. And then we find out they need the substance. Yeah, the substance, which they can only find in Daenerys's boneyard somewhere underneath New York. But okay, I want to hear your guys' views on it. So let's open up the mics. All right. So who wants to go first? Anybody?
Yeah. Yeah, right. I know we talk about that the boneyard, that was the reason why all this was going on. I got a little upset about that. That was the only. You mean to tell me the main thing that started with Daredevil season 1, and with that building was because you wanted to get under it and find those bones? I said.
Was that no season 2 of Daredevil?
Well, remember the first season when he saw the hole that was there was no building yet.
Yeah.
So and you notice from there that hole was there.
Oh, I'm thinking the time he went back with Elektra. Sorry, that was season 2. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was the weird thing. I said that was what the main reason that you was doing all this was because you wanted the bones. That was, remember, they weren't aware that there were the bones up there. They just saw a door, and that the Iron Fist was the only thing that could open it. Which again, that was stupidity on his part. Like leading Neo there, he needed to grow up because Elektra took advantage of him and just made him open that door real fast. I'm a little bit because in Kunlun, Danny Rand said that he killed the dragon to get the power of the Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm.
So if the dragon died there, which is unusual because it's an immortal dragon, he's supposed to come back from death after a while. So I don't understand what these bones doing underground. Because if they're dragons too from Kunlun, they should not be born. They should have been reborn as dragons. That a bit confusing right there. But the thing is, when we watched the episode, the final episode, that some of the bones was being chipped away and shipped out. So the only one, maybe, but since we know that Daredevil survived the series finale, that Madame Gao has it for her to.
Oh, she's not away yet. No.
I don't think she's dead, but I think she might be the only one that could have the bones for herself to stay immortal, while the other ones might remain dead since they lost their head. So that was a little weird that all this series, that the main thing of this 8-parter was because of the bones that was on the ground. I thought it was something more than that. I thought it was like, I don't know, something like an energy source or something that would make it immortal.
I can understand your frustration, especially with you being up with the source material. But is it not a case this is just something for the non-educated comic fan to come in and grit their teeth out when it comes to this team?
That's what I mean. I remember, even though I've been reading the comics as a kid, I thought that maybe something more mystical, magical was under there, like an energy, just an energy there that could be tapped to keep you immortal. That's what I thought. I didn't thought it would be dragon bones.
That's it, because I wasn't quite sure of it either, to be honest with you, because the thing is, at the end of Iron Fist, you're not sure whether Kunlun has been destroyed or not, or whether it's just basically he missed his window to get back there. And I wondered, because there was so much of your villains had sort of two things. They were either looking for the minerals, and you knew, Alexandra was on a time limit because she was going to die. So she was after that for that. But a lot of them were going on about, well, we want to return to Kunlun. So I'm thinking, is this some sort of a portal, a door by which they could get back to Kunlun?
That's what I thought.
And he's a key to a door to get them there, and he's the guardian of Kunlun, so it would make sense that he could open a door whereby they could get back there. So there's sort of it then being the bones of the dragon, and it's explained away by saying, oh, I remember when these used to roam free in the pastures and everything like that years ago. It seemed like a little bit of a get out. It just made their motives a little bit more confused. Either they want to live forever and just stay outside and have all the power and influence,
or they want to go home,
or they want to go back. It's up to them.
Okay, AJ's hand up for a little bit now.
I was just going to say, what happens if, the dragon is immortal, but maybe the idea of immortality is a little bit different for the concept of the show, where instead of the dragon physically dies and then is reincarnated into a new body, like a cycle of reincarnation. Isn't that an Eastern philosophy, if I'm correct?
A variation of it, I guess.
Well, I may live in the East Coast, but I'm not good at Eastern philosophy.
No.
Yeah.
Eastern as in Asian.
I know that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I live in the East Coast of the United States, but I'm not that East.
No, there you go.
But that's what I was thinking. Maybe it's a whole concept of reincarnation, death, and rebirth, and a non-stop cycle instead of just
Yeah.
being physically immortal.
Well, yeah. I mean, isn't it from the? Isn't it? Yeah, they would be. Hang on. Are they? No, I'm mute. Is it muted?
No, we can hear you.
Sorry, they would be. Yeah, they could possibly be reincarnated into another form. But again, it depends on how many versions they're borrowing from.
The thing is, but you got to remember that Alexander said she used the last of her substance to bring back Elektra. So that spiritual reincarnation doesn't jive. It just rejuvenates you. Like if she would have still had it and took it, all that bodily pain that she had and the way it was breaking down, it would have healed up. So she would have kept on living. But she used it on Electro. That's why she wanted to find more of it.
Anybody else find it funny though when it comes to while we're on the topic of death? Why is it these guys can only be killed by decapitation? What the hell is this, Highlander?
I was going to say that earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, Lady Neo's had her hand up for a couple minutes now, so.
Okay. Yeah, the whole thing about the hand and Kung Lung thing, that really ticked me off. Because I saw the little thing on Netflix and I was like, crap, this is based around Danny Rand. So that was a turn off right there. I said he better grow up a little bit or I was gonna freak out. And he grew up a little bit. But yeah, it was kind of weird. I was like, why are they doing Kung Lung and why are they doing Japan? Kung Lung is Chinese, Japanese. Didn't make any sense. But I think the part with the ninjas would be what's his name? Bakudo.
Bakudo. Yeah.
I would think he would be the one that would have the ninjas. Because of those kids, all those kids he recruited. He would be the one that would have most of the ninjas. So I would think if they would have really pushed it, he could have brought all his people over and then that would have, settled one thing. And the black guy, which I love what Luke Cage did. But anyways, I'm sorry, I love Luke Cage. I got one. But the black guy, his people were mostly what? Guns, right?
Mm-hmm. Africa.
And was he the guy in the white hat?
Yeah, the Panama hat, yeah.
Yeah, he was like a African warlord, I think he was.
Okay, I was like, that one of them was in a white hat. I forgot which one. Oh,
yeah, he was essentially Robert McGavie in a white suit. Go figure.
Okay, Susan and Alex have their hand up.
Yeah, I mean, I would think also, maybe I'm naive, but I would think also they probably have to try to balance not only all the characters and the villain, but the fact that even though the source material is comic book, they have to give themselves a way out. And maybe they don't want it too comic book so you don't turn off the people that are not, diehard fans. But it also seems kind of talky as well, because I was listening in as Susan was watching it, and I said, boy, I thought this was supposed to be a superhero series. There seems to be an awful lot of talking. Are they getting paid by the word?
Okay, beef.
Okay. The stick. I was going to talk about that. He's the one who trained Elektra, right? He was played by Terrence Stamp, right, in the Elektra movie, right?
We don't mention those.
No.
What?
No.
All right. Well, I'm just wondering if I got the character right.
That's right.
You're right. But it's just those were so bad. Oh,
I enjoyed them. Those movies. I don't think they're bad. So
You must be in the 1% with Neo then.
Let's just say I would be. I'd rather be trapped in a bathroom stall with a roll of sandpaper to wipe with than watch the Elektra movie or the Daredevil
oh
movie.
my gosh.
Oh,
It's that bad. I'm not kidding. Okay, Beef, you had your hand up for a couple minutes here.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, while the motives, I suppose, of your villains are sort of a bit jumbled, you do have a sort of something for everyone. You have something from every continent. So that's quite good. You've got your African warlord, and he's actually really good once he's sort of like isolated on his own, and Luke Cage traps him and sort of drags him back, and he's held prisoner. Yeah, that's brilliant. I love the little scene where he talks about what things have happened in the past, and you get this idea that Alexandra has been around for years, and sort of she knows her time is coming to an end, so she's going around and enjoying the finest of everything to sort of pick up everything of the senses that she can. And then you've got Bakuto, who's sort of like he's obsessed with having disciples and wants to be worshipped, so he's got all this training school. But it was quite interesting to see a change in Madame Gao as well, that you've seen her being a subservient to someone, because she's definitely the master manipulator, and it seems like that she was the one who was leading and instigated the rebellion that got them kicked out in the first place. So she was quite good. The other one, what was his name? Murakami. He was sort of like just some weird guy. What I quite liked as well is that he always spoke in Japanese, and everyone understood him, and everyone, it was just accepted that what he was saying, and they just all responded in English. So that was quite good. They kept his character a bit more mysterious. But yeah, the villains worked really well. But what Stick was good, because he was like the reality check to all of them. It's sort of like, they talked about this being a war and everything like that had raged for a very long time. And he was the real pragmatist in all of this. He was still trying to manipulate everyone. So he's as much a shade of grey. You're not sure which side to put him on. And I like the fact that he was just gritty and actually just not likable, even though he's supposed to be the side of the light.
You know what? Stick is phenomenal all the way through his run. Now, I know we're talking about Mystic here, and they could possibly retcon it later on, but is anybody else pissed they killed him off?
Yeah, Scott Glenn really did rock that out.
It might have been the actor's choice to go, but I'm pissed he's away. Just saying.
The funny thing is, there is the same way that the hand bring Electra back. Somebody they could always bring him back. They could bring him back. Yeah, they could do something like that. If anybody from his clan is still alive, that's the thing.
I think he said he was the last. That's the problem.
That's what he thinks. But remember, there was other separate from his clan that was around.
And remember, Alexander, it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. Okay. Lady Neo's had her hand up for a couple minutes now.
They might be giants.
Well, I got to give props to the secondary characters. I know we're talking about the hand, and we're talking about all the heroes and everything, but I got to give props to all of them. Hogarth. Oh, when Hogarth was trying to talk Jessica Jones out of it, that was just golden. And then she talked to Foggy, and then Foggy talked to, what's her name? Karen? I guess. I don't know.
Karen.
Yeah. Okay, Karen. Mm-hmm. Yes. All of them, even though I don't like a couple. What's the bit with Colleen, Misty, and Claire Temple in episode 8? That was the bee's knees. That stupid sappy ending. I don't care. Dumb 3 fighting Bakuto was awesome. Loved it. I loved when they were in the station. It was Colleen and Claire Temple talking about their boyfriends and where they stand on the front lines and everything. That was cool. Gotta give props to all of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, if it was up to Neil, everybody would end up bitter and alone.
Okay, AJ's had his hand up now for a while.
I just liked at the beginning of the series how Foggy's trying to help Daredevil get over his addiction of trying to save people, almost like it was a drug addiction.
Yep.
Sitting there talking to him, hanging out with him as if he's got to watch him 24/7 to make sure he doesn't lose it to run off and do something crazy. Yeah, I thought that was a really cool concept. Sorry, random thought.
No,
No,
you're right.
you're right about that. And then what happened in the end? He gave him his drugs by giving him his costume. He could leave with the other three.
Yeah, there you go.
He gave him the choice though. He says, "Here you go. This is what you're going to do. Make your choice. I'm going to be with you either way."
It's your fault, Foggy. Yeah, there you go.
Bastard.
Well, the thing that's going to stand out is right as of this day today, Jessica Jones almost finished filming, so we know that's then the second one is going to be the first one to come out next year. The Punisher will come out in the fall, and then after that will be the second season of Iron Fist. That's going to be scheduled. Now, since he made a promise to Matt Murdock to defend Hell's Kitchen. Does that mean that for the sake of Hell's Kitchen, he's gonna dress up as Daredevil to pretend that the devil of Hell's Kitchen is still alive? That he has done it in the comics when other people thought that he found out that Matt Murdock was Daredevil. So Danny Rand dressed up as Daredevil to take that off like that.
They might touch on that for an episode or two. I kind of see him on a full season run with it.
I don't see it as a full season. I see it maybe as an episode 2, just for the people in Hell's Kitchen will see that the devil is still around. So they don't nobody can think that Murdoch's dead.
He can't do that. He hasn't grown up enough yet. No.
Well, that's the way.
That's
the way he could grow up, but keeping his promise to Matt Murdock by Hell's Kitchen.
Maybe he could stop being constipated too.
Well, he could stop drinking coffee and drink more tea.
Having trouble channeling your chi? Get some X-Lax. Or better yet, Demons Run laxative. Demons Run when a good man goes to the store. Okay. But another bit of irony. Now, anybody ever, you'll just ponder this one. There's only one guy in the group. Well, technically doesn't have any like offensive superpowers. He does have the ability, like see in a way, but he's also the only one who has a superhero suit out of the whole damn team.
There you go. Yeah.
Daredevil. It's like, wait a minute. How come he's the only one who has a super suit? What the hell?
Well, isn't Iron Fist super suit the green and yellow thing with like the headband that he was wearing at the beginning of the show?
Yeah, thankfully they dropped that though. I couldn't see that.
That's 270s. For modern day.
Yeah, that is 70s.
Or Luke Cage's, because they gave that a little like Easter egg bit in his first series, that the outfit, with the big ass tiara. No, it wouldn't work, but still, I thought it ironic that the one guy who doesn't have any real offensive superpowers or physical powers is, the only guy wearing a super suit, technically.
Well, and also Colleen, but she does dress in white in the comics, so in the martial
arts. Yeah, that's true.
She became what, Silver Tiger or something like that, or
no. Her and Misty formed the Daughters of the Dragon. Like a private investigating firm.
Another one.
I know. Remember that team formed in the 70s, 80s, and Jessica Jones did not exist in 2000. So that's why.
So could it be another spinoff though?
I could see them maybe appearing in a couple of episodes of Luke Cage as a team to help him in his second season. So that'll be good. And whether Luke Cage will appear in any episode of Iron Fist, but they could get closer to forming that Paul Man Iron Fist like in the comics. We have to wait and find out.
You know what? It's been a common trait through all these shows. I think you'll find now that you've had this first initial mini-series of the Defenders, you'll have them popping in and out a bit more often. No, in huge droves, but maybe 1 or 2 episodes a season. Even though technically Luke Cage and Jessica Jones have already done that, So.
Okay, Beef's got his hand up. Go ahead, Beef.
Yeah, just maybe just like throwing out an extra point there. What everyone else thought of the actual action, the actual fight scenes in it. I thought that, not to nitpick on Danny Rand again, he really got his ass handed to him. I like the bit where Luke Cage first meets him and just slaps him around quite a bit, to be honest with you, because that's a good way to say, well, yeah, heroes have to fight first before they become friends, because no one trusts each other until a certain point. But I think the fight scene probably, for me, that was the best was when you finally get them all together in one place in the tower block. By the end, the one in the caves, it was all a bit dark and everything like that, and it was a case of you couldn't really tell who was going to be who and everything like that. But I think, I was quite surprised as well that Danny Rand, who's supposedly been trained by the monks and everything like that, has lived there his entire life, got his ass handed to him by Daredevil, who was only trained by Stick, who was one of the Chased, who wasn't trained by elders of the monastery and everything like that. So I don't know what anyone thought of the actual combat involved that they saw in it.
Yeah, the corridor scene in the office, that was very well done. I enjoyed that one. Okay, AJ had his hand up first, so go ahead.
I loved Jessica Jones' line, basically talking about how she's the only one who doesn't know this kung fu shit, basically.
Well, she could go to a Colleen Wing and take some lessons from her.
No, but like I just love that line where you see everyone doing all these flips and kicks around, and she's like, "Am I the only one who can't do this?"
Okay, Susan and Alex had their hand up. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, isn't that one of the jokes and one of the tropes, not only in TV but in books? Robin Hood, where they have to fight and then they become friends and all that. So it's kind of an old-fashioned thing. As far as the fight scenes, I guess I'll have to see a little bit more of that. I don't know. It is true. I like Iron Fist. I don't like the actor as much. I do like the woman in the show. But
Which
I don't
one?
know. Yeah, but I don't. The sort of girlfriend. What is it? Colleen Wing, I think it is.
There you go. You've got it.
I like that. I don't know if they're making him immature because he's angry or because he hasn't reached the the Zen yet. But I mean, again, Daredevil in a way is a Zen-like character, so maybe in a way there was a slight similarity. But yeah, I don't know if they're going to make the Danny Rand grow up for Series 2 or maybe Series 3. I don't know, because he doesn't seem to be a very popular character, especially when it comes to reviews. Most of the reviews I read, they were picking on his portrayal and all that. So, but I mean, again, how much the actors are allowed leeway, I don't know.
I don't know. For the guy who's supposed to be like one of the best martial artists in the Marvel universe, him and Shang Li, he gets his ass handed to him a lot in this. To be honest with you, it's quite surprising.
Okay,
I
Lady
don't know what
Neo.
Will thinks of that.
Right, Lady Neo.
The part, I mean, I know, I'm sorry, I'm going to hit on Danny one more time, but when he was talking with Colleen, and this is the start of the whole fight sequence, and when Luke came to save his behind, I was like, are you an idiot? He went and got his suit on. He went to go talk to the higher-ups. I said, you are the stupidest Iron Fist. Stick said it best. You are the stupidest Iron Fist yet. You done walked in and said, I'm the immortal Iron Fist. I was like, you're just saying, take me away. It's like, really?
Well, what he kind of reminds me of, though, is he's kind of like Luke Skywalker in Empire. Yeah, he's got this power and all that, but he hasn't really been fully trained. That's at least that's my take on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't really yet realize how the outside world works since he spent so many years in Kunlun. Because remember, his supposedly friends in his TV series didn't really care about him returning because they only care about the money that he would have took away from them like that.
Also, remember, we saw in the Iron Fist series that they had that video that film, that one Iron Fist. He's using two hands, and Danny Rand is not even capable of doing that as yet. I'm only hoping that sooner or later he can evolve to the point he does go up to the two fists. We don't know that yet, but okay. Graham's had his hand up for a while, so.
No, I'm just picking on Vin Jones as Danny Rand, and I think there was improvement throughout this wee mini run compared to. Iron Fist in terms of his own TV series. I don't think it's bad at all. I can understand where the nitpicks come from. Do you blame the actor? Do you blame the writing? Hell, that's down to the interpretation. Kirsten Ritter, Jessica Jones is just phenomenal as ever in this, man. And hell, it's been a long week. There's been many a time I've tried to pull that stunt on the train and I've not got away with a can of beer. So, unfortunate that. And while we're at it, Michael Corter is Luke Cage. It's his birthday today, apparently. So, this is ample recording time for that. And Charlie Cox, I know Neo says that he mumbles, but I enjoy him as Daredevil. I'll be interested to see how the ending of this sets up Daredevil season 3. Obviously,
that makes me a little nervous about the way that
why?
he ends up in the Catholic thing, and if you notice, the lady called for the Mother Superior in the comics. In the comics, that's his mom, that's his biological mom, the other woman that was being called. And that happened in the Born Again storyline, in which the Kingpin find out who Daredevil is and destroyed all his life. So, in a way, if they're gonna do that, I'm glad, but I mean the Kingpin's coming back.
If they're going to do that,
but
Karen's not going to survive. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you read that too. So,
Yeah.
so in a way, if they just borrowed it and not doing that story, I'll be upset. I mean, they're not going to use the Kingpin.
Besides,
that's one thing. Go ahead.
It wasn't Danny Rand's fault. He's so inexperienced. He kept missing lessons to go out on protest with his grandma. Okay.
No, what I wish the ending when they show the Daredevil and the recuperating from all the wounds like that. I wish they would have had one more cutscene, and that's a scene in jail in which Wilson Fisk is finding out that the hand got destroyed, and then he could say, "Good, I can claim my city." I mean, they could have filmed that when he was doing Daredevil. It was about 1 minute thing, but I wish they would have put that in just for everybody to be aware the Kingpin is watching the city.
Can I just say, I think you'll get D'Onofrio in season 3. But only done 3-4 episodes in season 2. And it's been a couple of years, so
I think he's coming back. I really do. But all right, AJ's had his hand up for a little while.
Much to the delight of our Lady Neo.
Yeah, AJ, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about Danny Rand. You got to remember, he's a character who was stranded in a strange place since he was 10 years old, and trained for 15 years. He basically lost his childhood and his concept of reality and the whole world around him. So for him to act a bit childish in his mannerisms and behavior and all that, I don't think that's quite unusual. I mean, he did lose his childhood and he lost his family too. So he's got that boiling rage underneath him where he's constantly just trying to lash out but hold it back at the same time. I mean, I can see where he's coming from, the character itself.
Reminds me of Michael Jackson. Yeah.
Okay, Susan and Alex.
Yeah, I mean, is it determined in the show where everybody is in the timeline, or did they leave that completely open? I mean,
everything takes place, of course, after Iron Fist.
Yeah.
So it's kind of up to date. This is Jessica after season 1, after Kilgrave. This is Luke after prison, of course, since I led right out of that and whatnot.
No, I mean, I saw that early on. No, it was also for the purposes of the video. No, I mean, again, remember we're talking about superheroes. So if they were totally mature, if they were totally wise, then it probably wouldn't be much fun watching them. And they have to have. I mean, it seems like most of the superheroes, if not all, have had some tragedy. Batman and Spider-Man, the Hulk.
The thing is,
some sort of tragedy or some sort of. Yeah.
Well, you could say that this series and the Marvel characters are more reality based because of their tragedies. They can't pay their bills. They have romance issues. Like that. That's more realistic. That's what come. This series takes place in New York City, unlike, say, Batman takes place in a fictional city like Gotham, Metropolis, like that. So that's why this one is more believable, and more, even though the characters are fictional, because nobody in this day and time doesn't have their gifts in our world now.
I mean, obviously, you have to have something that is, or a situation that is relatable. If you didn't have a situation that's relatable, then it would be science fiction, not just speculative or superhero, which it is. But I'm saying you have to have something to ground it, so that if people were watching it that weren't, devoted fans, they could have something to keep interest.
Okay, Beef's been waiting a while here, so go ahead, Beef.
Alex, I think that's something that you'll find when you've actually watched the whole of the show. Every character in this does have character development in it. Everyone is broken in some way, shape, or form. There is evolution through that as you go through the show. Luke has come out of prison. He's trying to put his life back together after coming out of prison. Matt is trying to resolve the situation of which life does he have? Does he have the life as a lawyer, or does he have the life as a nighttime vigilante as Daredevil? Jessica is trying to come to terms with, you know, what has happened with Kilgrave and trying to sort of like just get by, just get to, you know, get sort of her life moving again. And Danny is trying to find out where his place is in the world, because he's come back to it, and you know he's lost his spiritual home, and you know what he thought was his home and his family. So he's trying to find his place in the world. Everyone's broken in this and trying to find some way to it, and you do get that character evolution. I think, you know, the good thing about it is that, yeah, you do have a sort of bond forming. You have a nice touch with little touches within the characters, and the interplay between them. I think that is one of the things that they've done really well in this. You do get the sort of big brother ragging on the little brother with Danny and Luke. You know, there's the bit where he's tied up in the chair and he's sort of like, "Oh yeah, so you punched a mystical dragon and now you've got a glowing hand." And then he comes out with all this sort of, yeah, all the flowery speech. You know, "I am the immortal Iron Fist. I plunge my hands into the undying heart." And it's like, you know, "Shut up." And it's like, okay. And he feels a bit bad, and then lets him just run on with the story. Yeah, Jessica turns around and says, "What is this bullshit that he's going on about?" So yeah, he's suddenly realizing that it's sort of like, yeah, maybe it's not fine to tell it in great flowery language all the way through. So he's learning, he's getting a reality check as thing goes on. And you also get a sort of like a sort of the unfinished relationship issues between Jessica and Luke. So there is some really, really good little character touches in this, you know. So it is there is character development as it goes through with this. There are some really good bits. I think the stuff with Foggy and Karen is really good, to be honest with you, because they're sort of like the forgotten supporting cast in this, because they've got quite emotional ties to this, and their journeys sort of, you know, they can see what their friend's doing and they want to help, but they sort of, they're protective of him and everything like that. So that I think they're sort of, you know, Trish doesn't actually serve much of a purpose in this, to be honest with you. She's not worth really being in this. They could have left her out.
There, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, but you know, I'm a big Luke Cage fan anyway, to be honest with you. But one of the things that is really good in this, and like he's the emotional moral core, is when they're talking about blowing up the building at the end. He's going, "I don't really think we should be doing this." He's the one dissenting voice in this. "I don't like fighting. I don't like hurting people." And there's a really brilliant bit is that when he goes back after he has his coffee, as soon as he gets off the bus, damn. Then after that, he sort of like goes round.
You're crackling, Beef.
Yeah, we're starting
a little bit. Well, what I was going to say, thank you, Beef. What I was going to say too was, I didn't even read in 3 reviews about character development, which I would think is strange.
That's why you don't go by reviews. Watch it and form your own opinion.
I mean, well, you could do all 3. But it's funny how it was kind of negative. I don't know if it's a little bit of Netflix envy. I'm not sure.
Well, the thing was this: the character development came in their individual series. The whole point of this particular group of episodes is to show how they come together. You get the character development, you know, and like for Luke Cage, it's in Luke Cage. For Iron Fist, it's in Iron Fist, and so on and so on. This is about how this group comes together despite their differences.
It's funny, Beef brought up Trish and how she was somewhat of a,
useless
bystander. The same in a way could have been said for Malcolm.
Well, he had his uses, so that that stood out.
Peyton at the end.
Yeah, he learned how to speak bullet holes.
Well, yeah.
So he stood out. But it was unusual that this series is called The Defenders, and in the original Defender comics, not the original members of the Defenders was the Hulk, Doctor Strange, the Submariner, and the Silver Surfer. And then, of course, later on, Valkyrie and Nighthawk came. Then a little later on, Patsy Walker, who we see as, as a different name in Jessica Jones, she came in as Hellcat. And then Luke Cage came for like a couple of issues like that. So it's weird that the other of course, you're not going to get the big guys because that's too much money.
Patsy Walker, that's Trish, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Trish. That's her. That's weird.
Right.
So that stood out like that. So it's weird that they used the title The Defenders, but the original members was the big wigs like that. And now the Daredevil and these characters, they just came out with their own comics called The Defenders that came out maybe 3-4 months ago. So that's pretty good.
Coincide
like
with the series, and
yeah, that's why they did that. Yeah, so that's unusual. Now with they're gonna make another season of the Defenders. That's gonna be weird because of course what's going on with Disney, and that they're gonna make their own online thing. So they might, once the contract expires with Netflix, they might take it back.
I thought it was just the movies.
Have you?
That's the original, the movies. But the thing is, Disney likes to keep their property. The problem is Disney is so family oriented that making on their online thing this kind of series is backwards. So that's why in a way they should leave it with Netflix because this series is more better suited for Netflix. So
I think it will.
Whoa, that's what
ever been a TV show about Submariner?
We can't. That's property that's they're still fighting with. So that's hard to touch.
That's what worries me about this whole thing is because right now Disney is talking about doing their own online streaming service for their own stuff, and it's like, honestly, you're right. How are they going to pull this if they do? Pull all their Marvel stuff to go over to a Disney streaming site when you're, as you said, it's family friendly, it's family oriented. You can't have Luke Cage getting his coffee served on a frickin' Disney Channel.
To be fair, I reckon it'll just be your animated and your reboot live action movies. I think they'll leave the TV shows where they are. If they're smart, they'll do that.
That's what I'm hoping because
that's what I'm hoping. Yeah, that's like Freedom said. I'm hoping because let Netflix deal with Daredevil, the Defenders, the Punisher, and maybe some of the other violent characters that Marvel had, like Moon Knight, like that. Let them show up in Netflix.
Yeah, you can't have the Punisher on the Disney.
Oh my God! You gotta be kidding me.
Well,
Come on,
it's got
Goofy.
impossible. Yeah,
I said, come on, Goofy, let's go fight some crime.
Gosh!
Oh my gosh! Can I come too? All right, that's gonna work. Okay, Susan and Alex, go ahead.
That's very funny. Yeah, well, of course, also, I don't know if they're trying to change it because of the rights and the license, and, they have to negotiate with, all the, Netflix in this case. In other cases, it's different companies. But yeah, if they want to be a little bit more violent and quote unquote adult oriented, I mean, I can't imagine. I know I haven't been on the Disney site for a while. And plus, what about the other movies they have, Marvel and Star Wars and all that, right? I mean,
with Star Wars
unless they got like 10,000 people in every division, I mean, how are you going to balance all these out?
Well, the Star Wars films will be shown on their online streaming like that, but that's different. Now, but when it comes to the Netflix series, that's different because the Netflix series are not aimed at kids; they're aimed for adults. That's how we see it. That's
Right.
If you go to that's what I'm saying. If Netflix or Marvel wants to keep these characters more shows being done, it'd be better suited to stay on Netflix.
Okay, well, true. I agree that I agree with you guys, of course. But let me ask you a question. I mean, how long are the contracts? 3 years, 5 years, 6 years?
No, the original contract was for 60 episodes, which is already passed because they already did.
It must have been renewed if they're filming new episodes.
It was renewed because the Punisher was added.
Yeah.
So that means that's gonna come right now. The Punisher is coming out in the fall. That's already done. Jessica Jones season 2 is filming, and after that is the second season of Iron Fist.
And everybody's got 2 seasons.
So that means So remember you said 2 because Daredevil already had 2 seasons.
Mm.
So that's that one. I mean, everybody wants to see the 3rd season of Daredevil. Yeah. So we got to find out whether how that fits in. I mean, it could be added later on like that because there are other characters that have not appeared yet in Netflix. In the comics are very violent characters. People know what I mean, like Moon Knight and other characters like that. They could come in too while they say the actress who does Jessica Jones or they could be on vacation or maybe doing other things at that other project at that time. So that could stand out. But like I said, all these characters are more violent and more adult oriented. They don't, it should not be in the Disney streaming line.
Okay, no, but I'm also asking. I understand. Thank you for answering that question, William. But I'm talking about the actors. I mean, how long are they going to, deem to act and give their likeness and all that? 3 years, 5 years? I
As
mean,
long as they get paid. Remember, they don't. When they sign up to do the show, they don't own their likeness no more. That's how come if you see a model or toy look like them, they're not getting any money out of it because they signed that away. Remember
Also,
that.
as far as I know, these guys haven't been invited to the Infinity War party either.
Yeah, they're not in. Yeah, remember, you're not going to see them in the movies.
Yeah, because I know they've Agents of Shield crew is going to be involved in it somehow, but
That's what I'm hearing too. That somebody from Shield, maybe Coulson himself, or maybe this actress May might show up. That'd be nice. But they just talk. We're not having nothing is on paper and nothing's on film yet, so we don't know.
I just had an eerie nightmare. And now imagine if they did, Disney pulled everything for a Disney Channel. Introducing your new members, the new Defenders coming very soon. If this happens, Gizmo Duck.
Oh, God.
And then you can't be complete without Darkwing Duck.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That would be the terror that flaps in the night.
Now, wait a
Somebody
minute.
get Jim Cummings on speed dial.
You're not going to have teenage Jessica Jones, are you?
No, she was in a coma for a lot of years before she woke up. So
I know, but you know how they love to try to reboot and revamp.
If they do anything like that, it would be probably in cartoons, and that's what they're already doing in Disney XD. So that's already there.
Instead of whiskey, she's drinking milkshake or something,
That's.
But with regards to Bakudo, anybody else think he'd be well placed in a Ninja Turtles movie? Just saying, man.
You got an obsession with those turtles, man.
I know somebody put up a meme earlier this week where they had, a picture of the Defenders going against the Hand, and they said, meanwhile, in another universe, in an elevator, that's right, it was an elevator picture of the Defenders. And then it goes, meanwhile, in another universe, it's the elevator picture of the turtles from the movie versus the foot.
The foot, yeah. So, look familiar? Yeah.
Okay, so, love them, hate them.
What I was just reading about the hand, or the stick, is that the stick inspired Splinter, and the whole thing. Basically, the Defenders were inspiring the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That was the running gag by the creator of the Turtles comic book, that the radiation that created Daredevil went into the sewers and onto the turtles.
Oh,
that was just an homage that he did that because
that's not. If I'm right, Turtles were what comic book series? I forgot. It was something different.
It's different. It's not Marvel DC.
Yeah, I think it was
Mirage.
Mirage.
That was the name of the company.
They were created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. That's right.
Yeah.
What we beef. Yeah. So he's having some technical difficulties with his internet and the thing is, we're getting close to wrapping up. So I hope he can pop back in here before we get to him for a rating. So interesting anthology. Like I said, I just hope they can keep things on track. I really hope Disney doesn't step in and try to say, "Oh, look, we're going to do our own adult streaming channel and crap like that." Oh man,
Disney After Dark. Yeah,
Disney After Dark with Darkwing Duck.
Oh God,
man, I just hope that doesn't happen because they are doing so well with these series. It's something nice to watch while you're waiting for the big guys to hit the screen, or if you're waiting for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to come back around. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's rate this sucker and put it to bed. We'll start at the top with Graham. Out of 10, how do you give the first series for the Defenders?
Oh, well, as I say, there is some nitpicks, but I enjoyed the hell out of this. This gets an 8.5 for me. And if they do a second season, hopefully Will gets his wish and there's a new villain brought in that's more aligned to his comic book source material.
Okay, AJ.
For me, I'm going to give this a 9. It was a good series. I enjoyed it. It might not be faithful to the comics, but, you get the little twist from different media, so.
Okay, William.
I'm also going to give it an 8.5. I don't hate it. It was great 8-part series. But when we after watching the whole thing, of course, that's to come. I nitpick certain stuff like that. But that's after watching it. Watching it completely was great. That's why I'm giving it 8.5. And I look forward to see the continuation with these characters and their own shows.
All right, Lady Neo.
I'll have to agree with everybody and give it an 8.5. It's really good to watch. The fighting scenes were great. I love how the secondary characters were portrayed, and they just weren't, let's go put them in the police station and not worry about them. They literally said, well, let's talk about them, what their issue was. What are they dealing with? How are they dealing with all of this? I like that. They showed, hey, look, hey, we're here too. So 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, Susan and Alex.
Well, I was gonna try and draw this out so that Beef can show back up, but anyway, like, let's see. I will I'll give it an 8 for every single episode in it. It was good. It had a lot of good fights, a lot of good Star Wars in jokes, and I mean it was super fun the whole way through. And so yeah, I'll give it an 8. Hey Alex, what would you give it?
Well, I know that it is good acting and good characters. As far as the story, I've only seen 2 episodes. I'm not loving it so far. I will give it probably 7.5 because I know it should get better. It probably will get better. Like I said, the actors are very good. Sigourney Weaver is good. So, I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why I would keep up with it. If I hadn't seen most of the other series, I'm not sure so far if I would have kept up with it, but I know it's going to get better.
Yeah, Beef's internet must be all the way out because he hasn't even left a message anywhere or anything like that. So, well, like I say, Beef gave it a score of insert score here. Okay. So join us next time as we sit down and discuss yet another topic. Who knows? We might even have to talk about that Bradley Walsh thing next week. We don't know. Okay, so until next time, everyone take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a good one.
See you.
Sayonara.
Sweet Christmas.
Excelsior.
Excelsior. Yeah.
Alexandra, Istanbul, not Constantinople. Very good night.